Looks like I finally figured it out. Boy, this has been a mess. Um, hmm. So it's my first day streaming, and I'm on a laptop. Um, hmm. Yeah, it looks like it worked that time. Uh, so I've been kicked off twice tonight. Um, Lost connection, so I'm back. People don't really seem to like my channel yet. I've had one viewer earlier. I think I had 6. So far, I had Charlie Kirk on there. I had one guy said that Tyler did it. End of story. Quit trying to be conspiracy. And then another asked me about the ring switching fingers. So I'm basically just practicing on here with the live stream tonight. It's a lot of practice. I wish I could get some music playing or something and not have to worry about getting copyright. I don't know how that works. So. I don't know how that works at all. Um, if anybody knows, is anybody in the chat? I'm confused on how this works. Yeah, it looks like we've got one in the chat, so that should be working. Looks like I've got excellent connection. So basically, it's been my first night, and I'm sharing my experience. First night live stream. Learned a lot tonight with my first live stream. I've learned that hi, Sandra. So this is my first live stream. I don't know if you're just clicking through or if you're actually in here. I'm on my laptop experimenting with this OBS studio so I could add footage and pictures, and it's just, for me, it's just practice. Yeah, thanks, Sandra. That's a video I have on my channel. I like to build bonfires. I plan to do another one here soon. I'm going to probably build it up pretty big. And then I just got my 50 subscribers, so this is my first live stream. Nothing too exciting going in here other than getting some practice. Marshmallows are at the store. I'm trying to diet. I've been struggling pretty hard with insulin resistance, I'm pretty sure. So I don't buy that stuff. It's at the store waiting if I need it. Quit smoking and kicked a lot of other bad habits over the years, and I've gained quite a bit of weight. So I think I'm battling with high blood pressure and insulin resistance. So, but yeah, that was so hot. I don't know if we could get near it with the marshmallows. That's a good point. Yeah, that one turned out pretty good, actually. That's why I thought I'd just put it up here. The way the evergreens were burning, it was going right up into the sky. It was pretty cool. Thanks, D1. Yeah, I'll take the new subs. Let me know if you guys are trying to get a channel going too, and I'll subscribe as well. I actually forgot to grab a notepad. I was going to write down names if anybody wanted to have me subscribe. I've got some other accounts too. Some people struggle to get to 50 I had a hard time getting 50 subscribers. So, um, yeah, thanks. I'm not sure. I'll just kind of go with the flow on the channel. Team Jesus, obviously Christian, but I'm not against other religions, and I'm open to what they've got to say. So I'm not that type, and I'm not going to get on here and really push Christianity real hard down anybody's throat. I want to just cover a wide variety. I like to do maintenance, exercise, dieting. I kicked a lot of bad habits over the years, so addiction, stuff like that. So anything I can, I'm 44 now. Anything I can share to help anybody or get advice from other people is great, or help each other. Um, I've got a phone next to me trying to read these comments. Chan says, where do we talk about one? Oh, that's a Bible verse. I could look that one up. I'm in no rush. See what we got going on there. Um, see what that Bible verse is that he just mentioned. I can talk about that. That's no problem. I like to learn anyway. I'm not the type that can memorize Bible scripture, even jokes. I may remember a couple over the years. I just bad. I'm good at math, but horrible memorizing stuff like that. Um, that was 526. All right. That's a pretty great Bible verse. I'll have to save that one. So anytime I see them that I like to screenshot them. My phone's loaded, and that's kind of where my arsenal's at in my photos. I refer. So we'll get to what's his name? Chan. Yeah, thank you for that one, Chan. So Chan sent the Bible scripture, 1 Thessalonians 5:26 says, "Greet all God's people with a holy kiss." That's pretty fitting for my first night on here. So I definitely thank you for that, Chan. I didn't know that one, but I like it, and I'll save it. Um, yeah, thanks, Jan. Yeah, Sandra, thanks for the encouragement. Oh, I don't give up. There's a Bible verse about that, about being strong and finishing the race. Keep the faith, finish the race. So I always keep that in my mind. I'm 44 now. I haven't been in the drug scene for quite a few years. Uh, uh, Most of my 20s was pretty bad. My mom died at 55, so I saw what alcohol and pills did to her. Mine was a little bit harder drugs. I didn't do heroin and fentanyl, any of that crazy stuff, but I was still some of the harder ones. So that's kind of my testimony. I'm trying to read this message you wrote. Huh. Well, I don't know. My dad's pretty good at math too. Um, yeah, I always kind of was blessed with the math. I liked, yeah, I didn't really care for English. History, once I hit high school, I kind of took interest in that. Now I actually like history quite a bit. I'm always looking it up on YouTube, like the ancient temples and more of the mysterious, unexplained stuff I think is pretty neat. I don't know how accurate the history is that we were indoctrinated with in school. I'm sure some of it was accurate, but I think some of it's quite the mystery. Yeah, I appreciate these messages. I was on earlier for about 45 minutes and I lost connection, so there wasn't many people showing up at that point. One guy, he stopped in, said he needed to get to bed, so it's a pretty good way to meet people on here. I'm a YouTuber myself, so I like to scroll sometimes. I try not to overdo it. Yeah, I don't know how often I'll be on here either. I guess probably quite a bit for a little while. I'm on unemployment now, but I have a couple maintenance job opportunities coming up. So depending on overtime, normally I'm an overtime worker. So if I get heavy on the overtime, I will probably do more do-it-yourself videos and not so much live streaming. Um, and I'd like to practice and get better with this live stream stuff too. Any ideas for you, Sandra? Stuff you like to watch normally? I'm usually into like the um, Christian motivationals and Chosen One motivationals, a lot of tool stuff and house repairs. Yeah, it's nice to meet you on here too. I'm glad we have some friendly ones on here tonight. I've seen the way some of these live streams can go with the trolls. I don't get into all that. I mean, some of them can be funny and entertaining, but yeah, I could probably do without all that my first night on here. Just trying to have a good practice session on here and maybe meet some new people. And yeah, maintenance is a pretty valuable skill around the house and at work. So my dad worked a lot when I was younger. He'd be out on the road and I'd do the yard work and work on stuff and kind of had to find a way to figure things out. With YouTube, it's pretty awesome. I can study up and learn the tricks of the trade. And even at work, some people like to be nurses and doctors and maintenance when stuff's not running right and the operators are having a hard time. I took pride in my job, so when they call for help, I didn't like to see people struggle. So, but that can be a tricky profession too. You get a lot of other maintenance guys that may have a bit of an ego, or I just try to gauge who I'm dealing with and always try to find the lesson and learn. Yeah, the pyramids. I remember my dad reading books on the pyramids, so even before YouTube, he was always impressed with the pyramids. Do you have any theories of your own on how those pyramids were built? To me, I would say, if anything, it's just maybe the Bible speaks of the Nephilim and giants, and I would guess that it wasn't the Egyptians with everything you see with the camels, and it's just pretty fascinating, really, especially some of those ancient temples with the carvings. And yes, that's about where I'm at with it. If it was anything considered us, it possibly got wiped out in the flood. Who knows how advanced they were when the flood happened, if you believe in something like that. But yeah, then I mean, could it be other beings? I tell people my ego is not too big if God could create humans and anything you look around and see in the world, all the wonders and the elements, everything been created. I'm sure he could create other beings, and even what some people would call aliens, or yeah, I don't think anybody knows. I think whatever happened was erased, possibly through at the time of the flood. Yeah, I'm still struggling to figure out this studio I'm on. I'll probably most likely start getting just on my cell phone or tablet and not do all these. I wanted to practice of adding images and YouTube videos. I've got some other ones I could try to turn on instead of just playing that same fire the whole time. So you have to hit interact, and then that goes right into what I'm trying to record or live stream. And I'm in my channel. Um, so put on a gotta love the ads. This one might be too big to fit. Oh man. Yeah, that's probably not a good one to pick. That's where I cut the tree down the whole process. Uh, Trying to keep up on your messages. I'm reading them. So get this video going. I'll get back to the messages. Trying to pick up the shorts is cool because it just kind of repeats on its own. If I play one of these other ones, it'll cut off. I have to keep going back in and restarting one. So I'll just play. And it's bad too. This studio I'm on, you can't scroll with it. So whatever's on the page is there. I can't scroll down and find different videos. Why'd Charlie Kirk pop up? You can click Charlie Kirk. Huh. I'm clicking one of these fires and Charlie Kirk keeps showing back up. That's kind of weird. Huh. It'll let me find it like this. Yeah, here's a video I did showing off a tool. I was trying to find an easy way to scrape paint. That's called the diamond brush. That's pretty cool. If you ever have to scrape outdoor paint, and then you gotta sand it down because it will swirl up that wood. Right. This is a pretty cool one. I'll leave that one on for now. Yeah, you're right about that. If you're still in here, Sandra, a lot of people have pretty big egos. They want to take credit for all of it and did it alone. And I've gotten some odd looks over the years when I even just offer a theory that it could have been a higher intelligence. I'm curious why this. Hey, Sizzle Moon Song. Yeah, I like that quote if you're still in here. Sorry, I've been having some malfunctions. If you're still here, it's my first night live streaming. So this is all practice for me. Well, if my live chat counts right, nobody's in here right now, so I'll get back to trying to document what I've seen today. Had a few friendly people stop in. I need to figure out this studio software a little bit better. It would be nice to figure out how to play music without getting copyrighted. If anybody knows in the comments how they get away with playing music sometimes and other ones don't, I'd rather not get copyright strikes if I can get away with it. So this fire was pretty cool. Yeah, it sizzled most of the night. I went out through the middle of the night and it just sizzled away like that. It was pretty neat to watch. So we'll get back to the what I learned with the OBS Studio. They have what they call a key. And it looked like what I had to do was create a new vertical one each time. Otherwise, it goes to the horizontal. So I'm going to experiment with that because earlier I had to try about 5 or 6 times to get the vertical going. I'm trying to figure out what to do because this studio is giving me a lot of problems here. Oh, thanks for the like. I saw that. Yeah, it's my first time live streaming. Actually, first night. I tried to live stream earlier and I got kicked off, so I'm back now. Um, I think it's a lot easier to live stream from your phone or a tablet. This laptop studio is pretty cool, but it caused me a lot of problems. And I'm trying to work better on making eye contact with the webcam up here because everything on the screen's below the camera. So whenever I'm watching or checking messages, I'm always looking down. That's kind of rude. Yeah, hi Chet. How we doing, bud? Just kind of playing around right now. Just experimental night, trying to practice and learn. If I meet anybody new in here, it's good to meet you. Feel free to subscribe and like. I hope to start doing more live streams. This, like I said, is practice, so I want to get better at the content. Hmm. Yeah, Sandra brought up a good idea earlier about the temples. Maybe I could do some videos about the temples. That's a pretty good idea. They've always been a mystery. Yeah, I don't know what the best way to pull something like that up would be. That's a pretty good idea she had, actually, just to maybe pull up some temples and start watching. There's some pretty cool temples, but the names, I don't know their names. I have to get in there and start browsing around and pull them up again and start looking at them. Maybe I can find them. I'm in no rush. See if I can find a good one. I always forget their names. I know Petra's pretty cool. Machu Picchu's pretty cool. Um, I wish I could remember Kailasa. Kailasa Temple, maybe? Hmm. Kailasa Temple. We'll try to pull that up, see if I can find that one. Bear with me. I gotta screw around in this studio to do this. Try to find the shorts. Now, see, this is, I don't know if you can see if you're watching. So I can browse like this on this studio, but I can't scroll. And I don't know why. It'll let me do stuff like that with my finger on the screen, but I don't get it. I don't know why you can't scroll. Be nice to find the shorts. Click that. See if that gives us a good one. That's a pretty short one. This one's a minute. I wonder if I could. Captions are off, but they're still giving captions. Yeah, this one's I've always thought's pretty neat. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for sharing somebody else's video on here. Does anybody know in the comments? I don't need to get flagged and booted my first night. Trying to check out these temples. Sandra brought them up. That was a good idea. But I don't want to get the boot for pulling up other people's content. Let's see what the heck is all this. This isn't a temple. It's supposed to be, what in the heck is that? There's got to be a better way to get these videos in there. Try to click this one down here. Maybe I won't. Yeah, this is, I've always thought it's pretty neat. Pretty fascinating. I don't know what this video will show if they get up on the detail. It's pretty neat. Says it's, that said Kailash Temple. Kailasa, India. Says it was built 1,000 years ago. So it'd be nice to know how they did it and why they stopped. If they, you figure people around 1,000 years ago. I know it wasn't hammer and chisel. They're not showing up close detail. No way it was a hammer and chisel. I'll see what I can do with another video. I think that one's just repeating itself over and over. Petra is pretty neat too. I don't know if most people by now have seen Petra. Petra is a pretty nice one. Another mysterious one. We'll see how well this plays. I see now, because these horizontal videos, they don't want to fit in the vertical when I start bringing them in. I could practice around. You can see a little bit. I'll try to. I really don't know how to fix that from looking like that. I wish I did. It's first night live streaming, so this is practice for me. Looks like I screwed up my view down here. Yeah, I like checking out this stuff. Sandra had a pretty good idea with the temples, and I think a lot of stuff a lot of times is in, like that one, I think it's deep into a mountain. And I forget how many tons of rock they said was supposedly taken away from there, and nobody knows where it went. Pretty neat to look at. I almost just want to sit and admire it and not even talk. I would play the video, but I don't want to get the copyright. Pretty neat, just carved right down in there. I'm fascinated by it. Anybody in the comments know of any other place that's pretty cool to look up? I wouldn't mind pulling up another one. Might get Petra going here in a minute. Take a look at that one. This stuff never gets old to me. And then Petra, those doors are so huge. Says I got 3 people in here, but those numbers jump around. It's been a pretty good night for my first live stream. You know, kind of hard to have the party on with no music or anything like that. I'm not an alcoholic, so I'm not sitting around drinking it, live streaming, doing my drinking. I'm not saying there's anything bad with the drink every once in a while, but I try to keep that to a minimum. Let's see if we get Petra up here. Easter Island I always thought was a pretty neat place too. I'll just start picking these shorts. They should fit a little bit better on the screen. There we go. Petra, another one carved in. Pretty neat. Out in the middle of nowhere like that, carved into the rock, and it almost, I'm not an expert on the different styles. So Petra's pretty cool. Kalasa. Normally I'll get on and do like fascinating temples or something, and they'll show like top 5 or 10, and they all pop up at that point. I like looking at that type of stuff. I need to check into the copyright. I could maybe be playing this with sound and not worry about copyright. I've heard as long as you're like critiquing a video. Does anybody know in the comments how that works? Because I see some guys DJing, playing music, and they said sometimes they get copyrighted and sometimes they don't. I should research these videos. Try to switch into another one. See what this one shows. Patron Jordan. If anybody's in here, feel free to subscribe. Could probably use the subscribers more than the likes at this point. I just got my 50 to start live streaming. Yeah, I don't either. Looks like Jesus. Hi, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know either, man. I have to look into that. It would be pretty neat if I could just pull up videos and play the sound with them and stuff. Even the music. I could have some music playing, just checking out this different stuff and take requests on what people like to listen to. And uh, this is my first night live streaming. I'm still struggling playing around with this stuff, trying to get some good practice in tonight. Yeah, I've seen this before where they kind of got it blocked off. You can't see what's down in there. Assuming they don't want anybody getting down there and crumbling in on them, but maybe more to it. Try to find that other one I like a lot. It's got the forbidden door. Um, that one's pretty neat. I say that door's never been opened. I can't even pronounce it. It's about a 12 to 15 letter word. Secret door of, I'll try to pull it up. Let's see here. Secret door. I think I gotta fix my sound too. I saw somebody was giving a tip on filtering the sound. Secret door of pad. There we go. Let's see what we got here. This one's pretty neat. India. So we had Jordan, now we've got India. Anybody in the comments happen to know how this stuff was built? It's like it sticks out like a sore thumb. Nothing around there is even like that at all. It's just amazing, really. That's one cool looking temple. Towers over the whole town. And that door, they say that door has never been opened. That's quite the door they designed there. Anybody in the comments got one they like to look at, or pyramids, or a lot of people like Giza. You got other places like the Devil's Tower and a lot of mysterious places out there. Don't even get me started on Antarctica. We could go on the next couple hours about that place and what we don't know about it and what's kept a secret. Pretty neat. It'd be nice if people knew, even had an idea, especially behind that door. I just find it hard to believe that governments come together and tell people they're not allowed to open that door. I don't know, many too many places in the world that unexplored. I feel like America, they ain't gonna allow that. They're gonna want to know what the heck's in there. Maybe I can Maybe I can play around with my sound. Whoopsie. Oh no. I might have just killed the live stream. Well, if you're still here, I'm trying to figure it out because I tried to close the video and I closed the dang box to the vertical. What the heck's that? Oh man. Rookie mistake here. Huh. Oh man, this sucks. See if this does it. Hmm. Oh. Huh. Might be about time to end the live stream. It's still showing me here. Huh. More practice. I can't believe I did that. What the heck?